So welcome to the version 8 sales order webinar. We will be covering all types of sales orders today, as well as how to record them and how to report on sales orders. So first things first, let me move this out of the way. So to get into a new sales order, there are a few settings that you want to look at first in System Preferences. So we'll go to Options and System Preferences first. Okay, and then we're going to open up Point of Sale and then highlight Sales Orders. So this is actually where you can set the different deposit amounts that you would like to ask for the different types of sales orders. Customer orders are typically items that you normally carry, but you happen to be out of stock of them right now, or maybe you don't have sufficient quantities for what the customer is looking for. But if the customer should flake on you and not return to pick up those items you order for them, you know that you can sell these items to someone else. Special orders So welcome to the Big Hairy Dog webinar on version 8 sales orders. Today we'll be talking about the various types of sales orders, how to create them and take a deposit. We'll also be talking about the flip side of it, where you are actually receipting or recording the sale for that sales order. We'll look at some reports that have to do with sales orders and just some miscellaneous maintenance that needs to be done on sales orders as well. So the first thing that I'd like to talk to you about is the different types of sales orders. Now, there are three main types of sales orders available in version 8. Go ahead here to my sales orders. Now, as soon as I click on new, it is going to pop up and give me my different choices. So the three main types of sales orders we're going to be talking about today will be customer orders, special orders, and layaways. Registries are available both at the store level and at the company level, but we're not going to go into those today. Those are fairly straightforward, and you'll be better off to work with with your trainer on that if that's what you're interested in looking into. So customer orders are typically orders that they need you to order something that you normally carry. These are items that are already defined in your inventory. You just happen to be out of stock of, or maybe you don't have enough stock for what the customer is looking for. A special order is typically something that you have never ordered before. You may never order again, but for this customer, you're able to get it and you're willing to get it for them. A layaway is exactly like what you would think it is. It's like any other layaway that you've ever dealt with. You're going to take payments and hang on to their merchandise until it is fully paid off, and once it is fully paid off, you will then deliver their merchandise to them. So let's start with customer orders. Now, before we get into any of these, there are a few system preferences that we'll want to look at. So under Options and System Preferences, I'm going to click on the plus next to Point of Sale and then highlight Sales Orders. So you can set a minimum deposit that you would like to get for each of these. So because customer orders are items that you normally carry, you're just out of stock of, if the customer should flake on you and not come back and pick up those items that you ordered, you know that you can sell those to somebody else. You've proven the fact that that sells in your store. So maybe a high deposit is not necessarily something that you need to do here, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to. A special order, because it is something that does not have a proven track record, if you get left holding the bag, then it may be an item that you're stuck with for quite some time. So it's not uncommon for special orders to require a higher deposit. Typically, I see 50% up to 100%. Usually if somebody pays for something, halfway pays for something, they're not as likely to flake on you and not come back and pick it up because they've invested too much money in it. Layaway order, it just really depends on your particular situation. I have mine set for 10%. Okay. I also want to keep all of my archived sales orders as long as I possibly can in case I ever need to go back and look at them again. we do typically set up the require record sale that you can only count it as a sale and take it out of your inventory after the final deposit. I like to take it a step further. Anyone that has worked with me knows I want it to be after the final deposit and they are there to pick it up or you're getting ready to ship it to them. So when it is leaving your store, that's when I want it to leave your inventory. Now, we do have the ability to show back-ordered sales order items if they decide to come in and pick up half of their order because the other half is back-ordered. We do have the ability to print this verbiage on the bottom of the receipt. So these are the settings that I really wanted to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. Now let's go to point of sale and sales orders. And we're going to start off with a customer order. So I'm going to click on new, go to customer order. Now on all sales orders, a customer is required. So I'm going to go ahead and, let's just go with this one right here. Okay. No, we're not going to change the tax area. Okay, so I have a customer on my sales order. Now, he wants me to order some items that I don't have in stock. So I don't have any way of scanning them with my scanner. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to choose edit items, and I'm going to find the items that I'm looking for. Now you can use your search box, you can use your filtered view, whatever works best for you. I'm actually going to add in an additional column here because I like to see my description too in here as well. I think that's what that is. No, it sure is. Okay. So I'm going to order, he wants me to order a few pairs of Levi's 501s. So I'm going to go down and find the right size. I know that he's a size 32 and he's an inseam 34. So I'm going to order him 4 pairs of these. He wants to make sure he gets enough and he doesn't have to go out and buy them again. So once I found the item that they're looking for, I click the OK button. It brings those items back to my sales order. Now at this point, if this is everything that he's going to order, I'm going to save the creation of the sales order, then I will take the deposit. So you have to save the document first, then come over here to SO Deposits and click on New. It will show me what 20% of his total was. Now let's just say he wants to put down $50. We're not going to turn away any money ever. So if they want to overpay, they most certainly can, but watch what happens if I try to underpay. Okay, so it lets me know that 20% is the minimum that they can get on these, that they can put down on a sales order. Okay, so I'm going to come back up and change this back to 50 and press enter. Now I'm going to go ahead and tender that out. And we're going to say that they paid with a credit card. Okay, and then I will go ahead and update this transaction. I use the back arrow to get back to my sales order. This is actually where I recommend that you print from. This way it has the customer's name on there, it has the items that they've ordered, and most importantly, it has the deposit balance and the balance due showing on their printout. That's important for them to see they still owe you, in this case, $105.84. So this customer walks out the door happy in the fact that he knows that 4 pairs of Levi's are on their way to him soon. Okay, now let's look at a special order. So I'm going to go ahead and click New and choose Special Order. And again, I have to put a customer name on there. So I'm just going to grab somebody. Okay, now with a special order, because these are items that you have never ordered before and they're not already defined in your inventory, I do recommend that you set up a generic special order row. My generic special order row happens to be on line 1 because it's easy to remember. So you'll notice very, very generic, I put myself or my company as the vendor. My description one is just straightforward. It tells me what it is, no price on here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to be one of my vendors who I'm going to order from. Let's just say that these are going to be Levi overalls. Okay, I don't normally carry overalls, but this customer really wants them, so I'm going to order them in a size 40 waist and a size 32 inseam. I'm going to order 3 of those. Each one of those is going to cost the customer $50. So I fill in all of the information that I need the buyer to know, okay? So now that I have the items on there, again, I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to take a deposit. Now you'll notice it tells me a deposit is required before I ever have a chance to click on that button. So I'm going to click OK, and it already shows me what 50% down is. Let's just round that up to 82, and then we'll go to the tender screen, and we will, let's say he's going to write a check for it. Okay, we'll go ahead and click OK. Now we're ready to update this, and we're back on our sales order. Now the reason this particular order gave us that pop-up and reminded us to take a deposit is because I checked the require box when we were in system preferences. Okay, now lastly, let's look at a layaway. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go into layaway. I'm going to put a customer on there. Okay, no. Now with layaways, because these are items that you currently have in stock, the customer has gone around the store and picked up the items that they would like, they're going to bring those items up to the register and you will be able to scan them. So okay, so I'm putting a few different items on here. Now that's everything that they want to put on layaway, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. And again, I'm going to take a deposit. But because we didn't check the require box, that's why I have to manually click on the sales order deposit and click on new. There's my 10% of their total. They're going to put down $25. We'll go to tender and we'll use cash. Okay, and I F11 and go back, give them their printout. Okay, now someone comes in and they want to make a payment on their layaway. Okay, you go into POS and sales orders. Now typically where I would do this from, because most of the time when a customer walks up, you're on the receipt screen when they walk up to the register. So I typically put the sales order button here on the side screen. Eventually, hopefully I'll find it. I must have missed it. Okay. Oh, it's already on. No. There we go. Very top. That's why I missed it. Okay, so somebody walks in and they walk up to the register, and until they start talking to you, you don't really know what it is that they need. But they say they've come in to make a payment on their layaway. So from the receipt screen, you can click on this sales order button, and it will take you into the sales orders. Now my sales orders are down here near the bottom. So it's the Hernandez layaway. I can click on form view if I want to make sure that that's the right one, but you don't have to. You can click on SO deposits either from the form screen or from the list screen. Okay, so I'm going to go to SO deposits, click new again, and I'm going to take another $25 payment. Go to the tender screen, they paid cash again. I'm going to go ahead and F11 and then go back, give them a new printout. So now they have the new due amount and they know how much they still owe you before they can pick up their merchandise. Okay, now let's just say, now for that special order, this item right here, after the customer walks out the door, a copy of this sales order should be given to the buyer. Now, I usually recommend that you have a spot that all of those printouts of special orders can be put in, whether it's a basket, a bin, a file, whatever works best for you. Put the special order in there so the buyer knows I need to order 3 pairs of these overalls in this size. Okay. Now the buyer will create the line item in inventory and order those items. Once they've been ordered, the buyer needs to come in to this sales order and edit the item number that it's pointing to. So instead of it being item number 1, which in inventory right now still says special order item, they actually need to change it out for the new item that they just created. So all of that happens before it gets ordered for the customer. Okay. Now let's say that our first customer that had a customer order came in and he said that somebody called him and said that his order was ready. So he's going to come in here to the sales order number. Okay, and I'm going to find his order down here at the bottom. It happened to be this one right here. That's the one I'm going to highlight and click OK. I'm going to say no again. So it puts that customer's name on the receipt as well as their sales order number. Now on the side menu, you'll notice that it did not put any items on the receipt. So on the side menu, you're going to use the SO items button. That's going to show you everything that they ordered. You're going to fill in the dot quantity with the quantity that they're picking up today. Well, all 4 of his jeans came in, so you can either click the sell due button or you can type in the dot quantity and then click OK. Okay, once you've done that, you'll notice it brings the item over, but you'll notice the total is still showing the full value of those items. As soon as you go to the tender screen, it's going to ask you if you want to use the SO deposit. Now, quite honestly, in the 20 years that I've been doing this, I have never once had a customer tell a cashier, no, I'm okay, you guys keep the deposit. So I always tell people, don't ask the customer this. They'll look at you like you're crazy. Know that they do want to use the SO deposit. You're always going to click yes here. And you'll notice it took the $50 right off the top, leaving them with the new balance. Okay, so they're going to use a credit card for the rest of that. And then we would go ahead and update that. And that sale is now complete. So while it's in a sales order, it's not considered a sale. Even though you took some money on the day that they placed the order, that money does go into the bank, but it doesn't get applied to the sale yet. That happens when we use the SO deposit when they're picking it up. That's the day the sale is going to count. That is also the day that the items are going to come out of your inventory quantities. Okay? Now, let's do that one more time, only we're going to do it with our special order. Now, I did not recreate an item for ordering purposes, but normally you would. Okay. I'm going to go to SO items again. This time I'm going to click on sell due, and you'll see it fills in my quantity for me. Then I click OK. That puts all of the items on there. I then go to the tender screen, and yes, I'm going to take their deposit. Okay, so they paid $82 already. They're going to owe us another $80.38, and you would ask how they'd like to pay for that. Let's just say that they paid exact cash, and we'll update the sale. Now again, that item has come out of the inventory. And to make sure that it gets ordered from the same item, received from the same item, and sold from the same item, that's why you don't want to leave the special order item on there, because you won't have any idea of what you've sold. Okay? Now, let's go back out. I will show you there is another way to record the sale, which is what we just did through the receipt. That is the way that I prefer to do it because it allows me the flexibility of picking and choosing what items they're picking up. But let's say that our layaway customer comes in and he is ready to pick up his merchandise, but he still owes us $92.85. Well, we're going to go to SO deposit. We're going to create another new deposit, and he is paying us $92.85, but he gives us $100 in cash. Okay, so now we owe him some change. We go ahead and update the sale. We give him the change, and now we go back to our sales order. You'll notice now this button right here, Record Sale, is available now. Okay, and that's only because there is a balance due of 0. As long as there is a balance in there, that button will not highlight. So I'm going to click on the Record Sale, and it basically says they're picking up everything. So I'm going to click OK. Now, normally you would say yes to printing the sales receipt. I'm going to say no because I don't have a receipt printer. And the sale is recorded, and those items have come out of your inventory. Okay? Now, you do have the ability in a receipt. Let's say you're in a new sales receipt and the customer has a couple of items that they want to buy, but they also want you to special order something for them. So we're going to click on one right here, and then what we're going to do is we are going to generate a sales order. Okay, so let me scroll down and add that button. Go. Okay, so I'm going to, okay, so I don't know why my button is not highlighting. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. Let's come at it from the other direction. So let's do a sales order. We're going to create a new one, and we'll say it's a special order. Okay, we're going to put a name on here. I'm going to put the items that they want to buy today on here, but I'm also going to put our special order item on here. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say it's Nike. Okay, we want this in a size extra large, and we want this in navy, and that's going to run them $29.99. Okay. Now, I'm going to save this, and it does want a deposit. So go ahead and save changes. And so I'm going to go ahead and make the deposit, but I'm going to pay more than what they owe here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in $70 and tender that out. I'm going to put it on a credit card. Okay, and then I'm going to F11. Now, once I've done that, I can actually go in to a receipt and show what they're going to take with them today. So I go in and reference the sales order. Okay, that's the one I want. I'm going to go to SO items, but I'm not going to do the quantity. I'm going to do a dot quantity for these first two items and click OK. And then I'm going to go to the tender screen, and I'm going to use the SO deposit. The customer only owes me $1.42 difference. They're going to give me $2 in. They're going to give me $2 in cash. Okay, and then I give them their change. Now, we still have to special order the item that they asked us to, but they took possession and walked out the door with 2 of the items. Okay. Now, it is very, very, very important that you do this step of recording the sale. So whether you do it through the receipt or whether you use the Record Sale button in the sales order, that is entirely up to you, but it is absolutely critical that that happens. Otherwise, the deposit money in your accounting side just gets higher and higher and higher. And those items, even though they've taken possession of them, those items are not showing that they've taken possession, and they're not counting in your sales. We want them to count in your sales. So it is very important that you do that particular step. That's the final step that takes them out of your inventory. Now, there are a few different reports that you can look at dealing with sales orders. Let me go ahead and open up reports. Okay, now I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to go into summaries first. And the reports that are in summaries, just come all the way down. So there are a couple of reports down here that have to do with summaries. Now, this committed merchandise, you all should have a copy of that. This is a good report to see what's on your sales orders. So when you get ready to place your orders, you need to know what you need to order, not just for restocking, but also to cover your sales orders. This is a good report for that. This SO fulfillment is going to show you whether or not the sales orders that you have can be receipted to the customer because you now have quantity of them. And with the fulfillment report, you would get a second. So let me show you real quick. I'm just going to change my date so it only looks at today. Okay, so it should be the date. We're going to go 6/17/19. Okay. So you'll notice here are the ones that there's only one dated on there that still shows fulfillment. Okay. Okay, so, but this SO committed merchandise is a really good report to show you what's on your, let me see here, let's do this. 06/17/19. And I'm going to turn this off because I know we won't get anything otherwise. Okay, so what you're seeing here are the items that I need to order. Now, I don't have any due quantity because I've recorded the sale on all of those. But normally you would see a due quantity here because you'd be running this report before you recorded the sales. Okay, and I'll go ahead and close this. Now, in the journals, there are also some good reports in here. You can look at your deposit journals, your layaways, past due layaways. The one I like to use is the unfilled SO journal. This will let me know which sales orders I'm still waiting to give the customer their product on. Okay, I can also see the ones that are completely picked up that I'm ready to delete. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on print. Let's just leave it on that one. So these are all the sales orders that are 100% picked up. Okay, they're SO unfilled 0 to 0%. Okay, well, that's not correct because it is giving me some 100s in here. So let me go back and check my filter. Okay. That's what it is. I want to include those. Okay. So here's all the ones that I did today. You'll notice the date on these. This one's from way before that. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now this particular report, if you wanted it to, you could right here where it says show item detail, you could say yes to this. Let me put this back to include. Okay, so now on this one, I'm seeing what they bought on each sales order. Okay. Now, once sales orders are completed and they have been picked up, there is no reason to keep those hanging around anymore. So I'm going to go into my sales orders, and these down here at the bottom, I am going to delete the ones that are 0% unfilled. Okay? So I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to archive it. This is really important because this keeps this list nice and clean and tidy. Okay? And then last but not least, this one. So I usually make this part of the final steps when you're recording the seller or putting them on a receipt. Okay? I want to thank you for sitting in on today's webinar on version 8 sales orders. This will be posted up to our website and to our YouTube channel within the next day or so. Please feel free to watch it again if you'd like, or use it for training new staff members. Again, thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.